Good morning. Yes, we are with the one where. Ooh, this is a nice one. The one where the customer thought that size meant privilege. Oh, yeah, I remember this. This honestly was horrible. I hated this. In this instance, a customer came to us, or well, I would not say a customer, a potential customer came to us, indicating that they heard of a resolution we achieved for another customer in a market, and they wanted the same. Now, in this instance, this customer came to us and said, well, we want a ruling. You achieved a ruling for another customer, we want the same. And what was interesting is we said, well, you can't just get the same. You need to actually deserve the same. You need to have the justifications in place to be able to obtain a ruling. Could you please provide us your documentation and evidence so that we can assess whether you have the right to request for this ruling? Upon issuance of their defense documentation was horrific. There was no way, there were so many holes in their documentation, so many holes in their argument. It was just not correct. It was not applying the law, not internationally and definitely not locally in that country. And what was very strange, when we went back to, this was actually the head of compliance, we went back to him and his team and said, sorry, but unfortunately, this documentation that is your justification and your defense documents, we cannot stand by it because it is not following the international law or the local law. So we first need to fix your documents. Once your documents is fixed, then we can represent you and we can request a ruling. The response we got back was very interesting, and he said that, listen, we are one of the biggest companies in the world, and you just go and walk in there and you say to the minister or the head of customs, we are this company and we ask for that. And you will see, if you ask for this, they will give you that. It was exactly in this moment that I said, well, I think you misunderstand what we're doing. We do not go in there with wrong documentation and ask because of your brand that you can deserve that. This is exactly why customs officers feel that the world is not respecting their local laws and they're being sabotaged by global international firms. I'm sorry, even global international firms that may be one of the biggest companies in the world is subject to law. And you need to follow global law and local law. And if you feel that your brand justifies the rationale for you to have preferential treatment with regards to certain rulings, then I'm sorry, then this is exactly the problem why the world of trade is suffering because of that. What happened in this instance is we say to the customer, we do not believe if they're unwilling to improve their defense documentation and they're unwilling to correct their documentation so that it is compliant with international legislation and local legislation. Unfortunately, we are not the company to present them. And we wish them best of luck in their endeavors. For me, I find that situation exceptionally devastating. I hate that, honestly. I think it's exactly because of companies like that exist in the world that our world is the way it is. That people or companies believe because they have a certain logo, they are entitled to certain privileges. And that goes completely against the entire philosophy of the World Trade Organization, the Trade Facilitation Agreement. What law is about is fairness and justice, not privilege and, corruption, because that is just grinding. Now, the problem is, most probably, guys, what is heartbreaking is that's how the world still ticks. Big customers believing that because of their size, they have the privilege to ask for whatever they want. And I am of the opinion the only way to change that is for us to stand up and say no. Do what is right, and then do what is right and do the right things right, and then we will see a better world. We will see this world change. It is by entertaining size and privilege that we are where we are. So it's time for also big companies, no matter what their size, to be held accountable. And this is just a small anecdote of the one where a customer, or well, a potential customer, thought that their size might bring privilege. And I hope, dead center, that one day you guys will realize you as well have to toe the line and do what is right. See you in the next one where. Bye.